I just clarify the Liberal position. I thought that Mr. Ignatieff, after caucus on Wednesday, but maybe I was mistaken, I thought he was advocating that you do give the workers super priority. But am I wrong on that?
He certainly said that. I believe I was in Toronto with the Finance Committee that day. My understanding is he said that the Act should be amended. I'm not sure he said precisely how. Is that your understanding?
Mr. Ignatieff clearly indicated that he thought that we should have a review of the B Act and see what can be changed to deal with some of the many issues that are facing it. It hasn't been reviewed for a very long time, and given the issues that we're hearing from Nortel and others, Nortel just has the strongest voice and the loudest voice, but there are many across Canada and smaller companies that we've heard from today as well that have their pension has gone from what would have been $400 a month down to $100 a month. And so that's a very significant issue. So it certainly is needs for review, and Mr. Ignatieff is committed to doing that.
Steve Chase, Globe Mail.
Hi, I want to ask two questions, and that was, one, why are we just hearing from the Liberals now on this, when this issue's been bubbling along for, 6 months, 8 months to a year? And secondly, separating the question of solvency, just separating the question of solvency in federal plans and the sort of priority given to, in terms of debtors to Nortel, the issue about adequacy of retirement savings, can you see any solution that doesn't involve mandatory forced savings? And the reason I ask that is because we've had voluntary retirement plans that basically haven't worked. The RRSPs really are a voluntary savings plan with a carrot and incentive, and they haven't worked. So why are we only hearing about this now as we hit November from the Liberals? I'm sure you've had thoughts about this for a long time. And second of all, would any of your efforts to sort of expand retirement security, would they be voluntary or mandatory?
Well, first off, I've been working on this issue for, I guess, 7 or 8 months. I've had roundtables across the country asking people what their thoughts were. And we've had this October 26th forum in the wings for months now. It just happened to come at a particularly good time, given the Nortel situation, given the great series that the Globe has done on retirement. People are getting engaged. People are understanding the issue much better now, and they're starting to say, well, what about my pension? Is it safe? So we've been working on it for months now until this particular point. As far as
just to be clear, I've heard you talk about various options, but all the thinking you guys have done on the subject, you haven't actually put out anything yet. So don't you have any idea yet of what you envision being the right proposals? Because you've thought about this for months, right? So can you highlight what you are most leaning towards in terms of proposals for fixing retirement security?
I think it's unfair at this point until we've completed what we were doing today as an important forum. We have major leaders across the country, from seniors organizations to big business, small business to labor. We wanted to start engaging the public. It's very important. Most of the public understand very little, including all of us, when it comes to pensions. Let's be honest about it. And the need of why we need to be savings. We all think we can have everything we want today, and somehow tomorrow will take care of itself. So part of what we're doing and what I've been doing is an issue of education and engaging the public. And that's an important role to play, and to get them part of the solution, not being top down and saying, well, this is what we think. Yeah, we've got ideas, and those will come out as we spend a bit more time exploring all the positives and negatives of different sides of the issue.
And right now we're halfway through our all-day round table. I think it would be a bit rude to our invited experts if halfway through the day Judy and I announced a definitive position before we had heard from them.
Rosemary, sorry, Steve, can we just move over to Rosemary Barton?
It's actually sort of to follow up. I mean, Steve has a good point. The NDP did a roundtable maybe a year ago. Jack Layton last week came out with a bunch of points, including an insurance program. He had concrete ideas. It does sound like you're coming a little late to the party on this issue. I mean, you're just doing everything the NDP's already done, but a year later.
Oh no,
you don't have any thought. You don't have any concrete proposal.
We will be releasing our platform, our concrete proposals, when we've completed the dialogue that we're doing with Canadians.
And I don't really apologize for not having a definitive platform out today. It's a complex area. It's a crucially important area. And so we want to make sure we get it right. And so we will have a position, and I think this could be a defining issue for Canadians going forward.
Sun Media.
Okay, just a few points. You said you were working on a website, then you said we have a website now. You said you think Michael Ignatieff called for review last Friday. I was pretty sure he said he supported Nortel pensioners and Nortel people on long-term disability to get to the front of the line. That's a little bit stronger than just a review. And now you're saying you're not going to come out with a position until the dialogue with Canadians is over. When is that dialogue with Canadians going to be over? When do you expect that you'll come out with some policy proposals?
The website, I got a wink from the staffer. The website is active. You can go and see it following this interview today. The issues in and around the Bankruptcy Act are very important, and we heard that from not only Nortel but from others. It needs to have a serious look at how do we get a balance? How do we protect people from not having to be in the bottom of the line? But there's already agreements that have been done with many companies, and can you make things retroactive? So the issue on the Bankruptcy Act is extremely complicated. We have to make sure that what we do has the right balance, and that we are not going to be fixing one problem to make another problem worse. So it's all about trying to find a healthy balance for this country so that companies need to be successful, because then we will have successful pensions. So we have to make sure that we're finding the balance all the time.
The timeline for your policy proposals?
I'm not going to give you a timeline today. Today was a town hall meeting that we're having here. The intention is to have several of those over the next 4 or 5 weeks. And at that point, we hope we'll have been able to come forth with something that has gotten Canadians engaged, and then we've got sufficient feedback from Canadians as well as what they want to see in their pension plan for this country.
Steve Chase. Sorry, go ahead, Althea.
So just the government said, you know, they're looking at thinking of doing something in December. You're saying 4 or 5 weeks till your consultations are over. Are you saying that you're thinking of having something in December as well?
I don't want to commit to whatever the timelines are. We're engaging Canadians. Most of our Liberal MPs are going to be having town hall meetings over the next little while on pension reform. We're going to produce a white paper following that. So if you would have asked people 2 years ago, they would have, my pension, of course, if I have one, I'm sure it's okay. I don't pay much attention to it. I put in my $25 a month. What we're hearing from a variety of people on the panel today, that even when companies offer a matching dollar for dollar, 40% of the people aren't even taking advantage of that. They're leaving that money on the table. They're not engaged in thinking about anything beyond much to do with today. And it's a big role here is going to be one to educate and inform people on you can't just wait till you're 65 and think that you're going to live on an OAS and a GIS and your CPP, because the most that's going to give you is $1,500 or $1,600 a month. So we need to get Canadians to think, how could I live on $1,500 a month? And think about it for a minute, because we all think that, you know, with our retirement income security programs, government will take care of me, right? I'm paying into my CPP and I'm paying max, and I'll be just fine. It's when you start to really look at it and you realize, I haven't put away enough, and really the RSPs are not helping me to the extent that I need to.